That's too bad. I am so in the mood for poetry. Do you have anything memorized?
Yeah. Let us go then, you and I started nervously. When the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized upon a table. Slower, he said. I felt bashful, like I had when I'd first told him of an imperial affliction. Okay. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells. Streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit.
I'm in love with you, he said quietly.
Augustus, I said.
I am, he said.
He was staring at me. I could see the corners of his eyes crinkling.
I'm in love with you, and I'm not in the business of denying myself the simple pleasure of saying true things. I'm in love with you, and I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable, and that we're all doomed, and there will come a day when all our labor is returned to dust. And I know the sun will swallow the only earth we'll ever have, and I'm in love with you.
Augustus, I said again, not knowing what else to say. It felt like everything was rising up in me, like I was drowning in this weirdly painful joy. But I couldn't say it back. I couldn't say anything back. I just looked at him and let him look at me until he nodded, lips pursed, and turned away, placing the side of his head against the window.
My second passage takes place in Amsterdam, in the Anne Frank Museum. Augustus has given his Cancer Foundation wish to Hazel, as this is the one thing she wanted to do with her life. I think they're all dead, but it's not like the Nazis had a monopoly on evil. True, he said. That's what we should do, Hazel Grace. We should team up and be this disabled vigilante duo, roaring through the world, righting wrongs, defending the weak, protecting the endangered. Although it was his dream and not mine, I indulged it. He'd indulged mine, after all. Our fearlessness shall be our secret weapon, I said. The tales of our exploits will survive as long as the human voice itself, he said. And even after that, when the robots recall the human absurdities of sacrifice and compassion, they will remember us. They will robot laugh at our courageous folly, he said. But something in their iron robot hearts will yearn to have lived and died as we did on the hero's errand. Augustus Waters, I said, looking up at him, thinking you cannot kiss anyone in the Anne Frank house. And then thinking that Anne Frank, after all, kissed someone in the Anne Frank house, and that she would probably like nothing more than for her home to have become a place where the young and irreparably broken sink into love. I must say, Otto Frank said on the video in his accented English, I was very much surprised by the deep thoughts Anne had. And then, we were kissing. My hand let go of the oxygen card, and I reached up for his neck, and he pulled me up by my waist onto my tiptoes. As his parted lips led mine, I started to feel breathless in a new and fascinating way. The space around us evaporated, and for a weird moment, I really liked my body. This cancer-ruined thing I'd spent years dragging around suddenly seemed worth the struggle. Worth the chest tubes, the PICC lines, and the ceaseless bodily betrayals of the tumours. It was quite a different Anne I had known as my doctor. She never really showed this kind of inner feeling, Otto Frank continued. The kiss lasted forever, as Otto Frank kept talking from behind me. And my conclusion is, he said, since I have been on very good terms with Anne, that most parents don't really know their children. I realized that my eyes were closed and opened them. Augustus was staring at me, his blue eyes closer to me than they'd ever been. And behind him, A crowd of people, 3 deep, had sort of circled around us. They were angry, I thought, horrified. These teenagers with their hormones, making out beneath the video broadcasting the shattered voice of a former father. Oh, I pulled away from Augustus, and he snuck a peck onto my forehead as I stared down at my chuck tails. And then they started clapping. All the people, all these adults, just started clapping, and one shouted, "Bravo!" in a European accent. Augustus, smiling, bowed. Laughing, I curtsied ever so slightly, which was met with another round of applause. My third and final scene occurs in a church. Augustus's illness has advanced rapidly, and tragically, he has called up Hazel, asking for her to read his final eulogy to him, so that he may hear it before he leaves. I walked up to the podium and unfolded the piece of paper on which I printed my eulogy. My name is Hazel. Augustus Waters was the great star-crossed love of my life. Ours was an epic love story, and I won't be able to get more than a sentence into it without disappearing into a puddle of tears. Gus knew. Gus knows. I will not tell you our love story, because like all real love stories, it will die with us, as it should. I'd hoped he'd be eulogizing me, because there's no one I'd rather have. I started crying. I'm okay. Don't cry. I'm okay. I took a few deep breaths and went back to the page. I can't talk about our love story, so I'll talk about math. I'm not a mathematician, but I know this. There are infinite numbers between 0 and 1. There's 0.1, and 0.12, and 0.112, and an infinite collection of others. Of course, there's a bigger infinite set of numbers between 0 and 2, or between 0 and 1,000,000. Some infinities are bigger than other infinities. A writer we used to like taught us that. Now there are days, many of them, when I resent the size of my unbounded set. I want more numbers than I'm likely to get, and God, I want more numbers for Augustus than he got. But Gus, my love, I cannot tell you how thankful I am for our little infinity. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You gave me a forever within the numbered days. And I'm grateful. Augustus Waters died 8 days later.